Welcome to the Martini Mortgage Podcast, episode 121. I am calling it Buying a Home This Summer. My name is Kevin Martini, and I'm a certified mortgage advisor, NMLS number 143962, and producing branch manager of the Martini Group at the Cardinal Financial Company, NMLS number 66247. Right now, there is a ton of chatter about the real estate market and mortgage rates. With all the noise, there are questions that a want-to-be home buyer is asking. One of the questions they are asking is if they should jump into the real estate market right now or should they wait? Future home buyers are not the only ones asking questions right now, too. Many current homeowners are wondering if they should refinance or if they should upgrade their housing. All great questions, and sadly, there is not a one-size-fits-all answer for every renter that wants to be a homeowner, and there is not a one-size-fits-all answer for the current homeowner. Why not, you ask? Well, it's simple. I have been in the financial services since the late 80s, and I have yet to find two exact families that have the exact same needs, the exact same wants, and the exact same concerns. Every family I serve has had their own unique circumstances and objectives, and that is why there's not a one-size-fits-all answer to if one should stop renting and buy, or if one should refinance and stay, or if one should sell and then buy, or maybe even buy first and sell. There are many things to consider, and that is why myself and Logan Martini produce every season the Martini Buyer Guide. The summer 2021 edition of the Martini Buyer Guide was recently released and shares things that one should consider when they are buying a home. I believe it simply and effectively communicates the current market opportunity. Now, Logan and I curated this buyer guide every season, but this season, because we feel there is never a substitute for factual information about buying a home and securing a mortgage. Here is a fact. There are many things to consider when buying a home, and the Martini Buyer Guide covers most of the key topics that are top of mind for future home buyers today. There are 11 free articles one should read if they are thinking about buying real estate as a first-time home buyer or as a repeat home buyer. And they can be found by going to www.martinibuyerguide.com. Yes, the Martini Buyer Guide is free. When I say free, it is completely free, and you don't even need to put your name or an email address in to access it. You just go to www.martinibuyerguide.com and poof, you will have instant access. You see, both Logan and I feel that the information is so very important, and one should have access to this relevant factual content to make an educated decision if homeownership is right for you and your family. I do want to highlight this. Just because something is free, it does not mean it's not packed with priceless information to help. I truly believe you will find each and every article in the Martini Buyer Guide goes beyond the headlines. Check it out and see for yourself, and let me know what you think. And if you have questions about what you read, myself and Logan are here to help. Just give us a jingle at 919-238-4934. Now, speaking of headlines, I have found that headlines do not tell the full story. They just get one to stop and hopefully click. Sadly, not everyone clicks. Or if they did click, the article has nothing to do with the headline. That is why the headlines in the Martini Buyer Guide are right on target with what is going to be shared. The first article in the Martini Buyer Guide is called Buying a Home This Summer. That just happens to be the title of this episode of the Martini Podcast, too. Let me talk about this article quickly for a moment. There are 4 things that I believe one needs to know about buying a home this summer. Number 1, mortgage rates are still low. Number 2, buying a home is still more affordable than renting. Number 3, home equity is growing. And number 4, home prices are appreciating. The article goes into a little bit more detail, but that is a 30,000 feet view. If you're considering buying a home this summer, you may right now be in your moment, especially with today's low mortgage rates. Call the Martini Group at 919-238-4934 to discuss your options and your eligibility for low down payment home loan solutions. Now, you may understand that these epic mortgage rates will not last forever, but you may have someone that you care about that went through what I call the mortgage renaissance in 2008, and you are concerned that right now this bubble that occurred in 2008 will rinse and repeat. I can understand why one would think this, but what is happening right now is nothing like 2008. On page 6 of the Martini Buyer Guide, there's an article called 3 Reasons Why We Aren't in a Real Estate Bubble. Logan and I spent a lot of time on this, so let me give you some highlights. Unlike 2008, right now the housing supply is extremely limited. During the mortgage renaissance, there was up to an 11-month supply of homes for sale. At the time of this recording of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, the supply stands at 2.4 months. That's a critical level. Unlike 2008, right now, the housing demand is real. In 2008, there was irrational exuberance, or in other words, unfound market optimism that was ripe for speculation with access to mortgage products that only required a pulse. Right now, the largest generation, millennials, have come to age to marry and have children. Marriage and parenthood are 2 of the largest drivers of the housing market, and this demand is real today, unlike the demand of 2008. The final reason we are not in a bubble is people have equity in their homes. Check this real stat out. 57.8% of all homes in the U.S. have a minimum of 50% equity. That was nothing like what happened in 2008. Again, the Martini Buyer Guide can be accessed by going to www.martinibuyerguide.com. On page 16, you will find an article called 5 Tips for Making a Successful Offer. Logan and I wrote this article because right now in today's real estate market, there is clearly a high home buyer interest and low housing inventory. With so many buyers wanting to seize a low mortgage rate, they are competing for a limited number of houses for sale. Right now, it's more important than ever to know the ins and outs of making a confident and competitive offer. Check out our 5 proven tips by going to www.martinibuyerguide.com. There's more articles in the Martini Buyer Guide, and you may have questions about what you've heard in this episode or about what you read in the Martini Buyer Guide, and that is awesome. We are here to help, and I invite you to call me directly, Kevin Martini, at 919-238-4934. I believe there is never a substitute for being an educated consumer. My name is Kevin Martini, and I'm a certified mortgage advisor and producing branch manager of the Martini Group at Cardinal Financial Company, which is located in Raleigh, North Carolina. However, I help families all over the U.S. I provide the families I serve with trusted advice with a frictionless digital mortgage process that provides certainty. Thank you for listening, and please share this episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast with someone you care about, and thank you in advance for leaving a 5-star review. Now it's time for the disclosure. This material has been prepared for marketing purposes only. This is not a loan commitment or guarantee of any kind. Loan approval and rates are dependent upon a borrower's credit, collateral, financial history, program availability at the time of origination. Rates and terms are subject to change without notice. Corporate address 3701 Arco Corporate Drive, Suite 200, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28273. Cardinal Financial Company, Limited Partnership, NMLS 66247. For list on more licensing information, please visit https://cardinalfinancial.com/licensing. Equal housing opportunity. For more information about myself, Kevin Martini, or Logan Martini, or the Martini Group at Cardinal Financial, visit www.martinimortgage.com or call 919-238-4934.